Right. Good morning, everyone. And thank you so much for joining us all here today. Today's Shir should be the Ilu Nishmas, our dear friend Menachem Ben Yisrael Yaakov, as well as my dear aunt Rivka Bas Gavriel Tzvi, and for Zaidi Reb Shmuel Ben Yosef Dov HaKohen, and B'schus L'Rafur Shalema Bekarov Meshalom Ben Sarachel, Miriam Basara, and Yair Yeshir Ben Chaya Atar. Today, we are on page 270 in the Or Avigdor, for those who are following along. Today we're going to talk about how a person who's a Baal Bitachon, how they go about asking or leaning on someone or kind of needing a favor from another individual. When you go about asking someone for a favor, when you need something, when you're desperate for something, what goes through your mind right away is, first of all, is the anxiety. Right? You need someone else. You can't do it on your own. So you need someone else already. That kicks in the anxiety. I got to go ask someone. What are they going to answer? Are they going to tell me yes? They're going to tell me no? Are they going to be happy about it? Are they going to be reluctant to do it? And then there's this idea that, who is going to help me? Because we think that the person that we ask for is the one providing the source of that help that we need, whether it's just a helping hand with moving a couch, or maybe it's a money, maybe it's advice, whatever that is, we think that the source is the person that we go to. And so today we're going to talk about, when we go about asking favors from an individual, how the mindset works over there. And I keep repeating this idea of mindset, just so you guys understand. Bitachon is a mindset. How you go about your day with Bitachon versus without Bitachon is your entire mindset shift. And that changes a lot of things in your whole overall well-being, because when your mindset shift goes from, what it is regularly, to an idea of I trust in Hashem and Hashem runs everything, then your whole physical being is different. Your mental clarity, you're more easygoing, you're not so anxious all the time. And that's really why I keep on saying this idea, the shift in mindset. And so he says, like, it's Bitachon when you need a favor. However, concerning the ways of Bitachon and Hashem, when relating to people that are above you in your social circles, or maybe someone who's wealthier than you, and there's people below you, people who are not as popular, not as powerful in government, not as wealthy as you are. How do you go about Hapanim Yisharim, the right method of going to ask them for a favor, and the mindset when you do so? When the need arises to ask for something from someone who's superior to you, such as asking a wealthy or powerful man, or going over to someone who's below your status, that the way you go about doing this is you should trust in Hashem that the thing that you need is going to be carried out, even though he's going to ask a person for help. You should remember that that person is not the one providing the help to you, it's Hashem. And he should regard them as only the meaning of fulfillment, meaning this is the shaliach, as we know. Hashem is making them the messenger to get that done. We understand, and we've learned this, that the world is run in a system called cause and effect, right? B'derech hateva. B'derech hateva is that if you need help, that Hashem is not going to drop it from the sky at your doorstep. That's not B'derech hateva, although that is very possible to happen. But B'derech hateva is you go get a job, or you ask someone for money. Whatever that is, the derech hateva is what you're going to go about doing that. The teva, the thing that we call the normal, the cause, the effect system, that is Hashem's method of getting that money or whatever assistance you need to you. So when you're going to this individual and asking them for the assistance that you're looking for, remember that the source, it's Hashem providing you the source, but Hashem is just using this individual as the carrier, the messenger, the shaliach, to get it to you. Now, he brings an example from a farmer who grows something. If Hashem, if he took his attitude should be like that of a man making tilling of soil, a farmer. What happens over there? The farmer takes the seed, works the ground first, right? Then takes the seed, plants it, waters it, does all that. When the fruits come out, who does he thank? Does he go back and say, oh, thank you so much, Mr. Soil? I appreciate what you have given me. Nobody does that. Not even the person who's the atheist does that, right? You thank a different, something else, maybe it's not even Hashem, but you thank something else but the dirt. The dirt, so to speak in this metaphor, is the person that you're going to. He's the shaliach. He is the dirt that's providing you with the fruits, whether it's the money, the assistance, the advice, the recommendation, the whatever, the referral, whatever that is. The person is just like in this metaphor, like the dirt of the farm, which is going to provide you with the fruits and vegetables that you need. And so we don't thank the dirt. We don't thank the person. We thank Hashem for that. Now, and if Hashem wouldn't want to give a man his livelihood from his land, the land would not sprout anything. Or it would sprout something, but crops would get ruined. And in either case, he would not blame the land if something happens. Basically saying that, going back to the metaphor, the person, the shaliach that you went to, that person is the soil, the land. Whatever happens out of that, you never go back to the soil and say, oh, the soil, you're the reason why I don't have a good crop this year. You're the reason why I have a very low yield, right? You don't go back to the person and say, oh, because of you is the reason why I didn't have. Because of you is the reason I did have. It doesn't make a difference. So too, when a person asks someone for a favor, it should be all of the same to him, whether it's a person is strong or weak in his ability to do it. It's the same thing. Now, it doesn't mean that, because we said you can go to someone above you can go to someone below you. We talked about this just now. And the idea is that Hashem uses any person as a vessel. So in reality, if you need money, you can go to a poor person also, and that is true. And that person will be able to help you if Hashem wants you to be helped. Now, Victim says, going back to the cause and effect system, b'derech hateva, if you need a financial assistance, you should seek out a person who is financially able to help you. If you need a strong individual to help you move a heavy item of furniture, go to someone who's strong. Can't go to the rich guy who's got no muscles, right? He's got a lot of money, but he can't help you because he can't lift the couch. So now you go to the poor guy maybe who has muscles, or someone else, a regular guy who has muscles, to help you lift the couch. And if you need advice in a specific area of interest, a specific business, maybe advice in that, or medical field, or whatever it is, you go to someone who has experience, who knows that line of work, that field that we're talking about, and you ask them. Don't go to anyone, although at the end of the day, you might not find a subject matter expert. You might not find a wealthy individual. If Hashem decreed that you should have it, then whoever you go to the best chance you have. You choose whatever you feel in your power. You do your hishtadlus. You seek out the person who you feel the best fit to help you out with this specific situation, and you ask them, say, hey buddy, can you help me? And if Hashem wants you to be helped, you will be helped, whether it's through that person, through another person. But the idea over here is that we have to remember, you're not thanking this person for the source of your whatever you got. You're thanking this person for something else we're going to see in a minute. He should rely only on Hashem for the request to be carried out. However, if it is carried out by the means of one of the people that you went to, right, the one who asked for help, you should thank Hashem, who carried out his desire. He should also thank the person, because this person who carried it out, for his good intentions, and for being sufficiently worthy that Hashem achieved his purpose through them. When you thank a person for helping you, you're not thanking them for the outcome. The outcome, that was up to Hashem. If you went to someone for money and they gave you money, great. You say thank you to them. Now here's the mindset. The thank you that you are looking at as thinking the source, that's Hashem. Hashem is the source. What you are thanking this person is because they chose to be God's messenger today. When you knocked on their door, they could have said no. They didn't have to give it to you, and that wouldn't have changed your outcome. You might have had to walk another house or two until you finish getting what you need. Hashem would have given it to you. But they say, you know what? I don't want you to walk anymore. What do you need? You need $1,000? Here, perfect. Here's your $1,000. And so you're thanking them for the choice that they made to say, I want this opportunity. Hashem puts out into the marketplace. He puts out, here's an opportunity to do tzedakah for someone. Who wants to grab it? You go from door to door. This person says, I don't want to grab it. This person, I don't want it. You said, when the person came to you and you gave them the tzedakah, you grabbed the opportunity from Hashem's marketplace that Hashem gave. And then this way, you got the opportunity to do that. It's going to go a little bit deeper than the marketplace, really. Because what we're going to talk about over here in a second is the idea that Hashem, when someone came knocking at your door and asked you for tzedakah and you gave it to them, I want you to understand something. When you were sitting in your office every single day, this is something I share with so many people. I've shared it recently, this week probably 2 times, 2 different individuals. When you're sitting in your office, right, you do real estate, for instance, whatever it is, and all of a sudden the phone rings, someone calls you up, has a great business, a great property for you. 350 units, Class A, whatever it is, it's a great deal. You say, oh, thank you so much, Hashem, for sending me this opportunity. I know everything is from you. I appreciate it, right? You close the deal and make it happen. Whatever it is, it's done. But what did you do? You understood that Hashem sent you an opportunity. I want you to understand, and this is what he says over here, that Hashem only sends opportunities, good opportunities, for specifically in this category, what we're talking about, to do a mitzvah to those people who deserve that mitzvah. The same way you believe that when you sat in your office and Hashem sent you that business opportunity, that real estate deal, and you thought to yourself, wow, I'm so thankful to Hashem, He chose me, I'm worthy of making this money, of getting this deal done. It's the same exact math when it comes to doing a mitzvah. If a mitzvah comes knocking on your door, that's because Hashem said, let me send this guy a mitzvah. Because I feel he deserves it. I want him to have it. And so what are you going back to the thank you that you give? Now I go to you and I ask you for the assistance, and you give me the assistance I'm looking for. I thank Hashem for the outcome. Thank you, Hashem, for allowing me to have the assistance that I need. I thank you, the person who gave me the assistance, for having the bechira, for having the choice to do so and to making me feel good and doing so. And I thank you for that. Also, I have gratitude towards you because you deserve it. Because Hashem said, I want you to do this opportunity. The same way in the morning, before I showed up at your door, He said, I want you to have this 300-unit real estate deal. He said, I also want you to have this mitzvah to help out another yid. That's the concept that we have over here. That's the concept that we have to remember. The thank you has a place. The thank you for the source, that's Hashem. The thank you for the choice, to willingness to do it for you, that's to the person. And also the gratitude. And also understand that this person is not a regular person. Hashem doesn't give opportunities for good to bad people. Hashem gives opportunities for good to good people, people who deserve it. And so when you go to someone, you ask them for help, you're standing in front of a person, when they give you that assistance, you're standing in front of a person that Hashem chose with His own hands, metaphorically. He chose, I want chesed shrag, I want you to have an opportunity. You're standing in front of someone who God made a messenger. Literally, you're one step away from God. Hashem chose this person to take God's money from His bank account and give it to you and make sure you have what you need. With that, we're going to go into this week with Chai Sarah. And we spoke about the life of Sarah this week, right? We said, how old was Sarah? She was 100. And she was 20, and she was 7. It was 127 years. And the big question was, why did the Torah spell out first 100, then 20, then 7? Why didn't it just say 127 years? And so the commentaries over there, including Rashi, say because Hashem wanted to show the importance of each part of Hashem of Sarah's life. So, for example, the first 100 years, that she was just as pure as a 20-year-old is. And what that means is that according to the Torah, a person is not punished on the transgressions until after they're 20. So until they're 20, they're really technically clean. So Sarah, at an age of 100, was pure of Averos. Now, I want you to understand that comes with a lot of work, right? Being pure of Averos comes with a lot of work. I also want you to understand that it says, Sarah has such a beautiful life. But we know she didn't. We know she didn't have a child until she was over 100 years old. We know that when she was barren, she couldn't have children. She set up her husband, Avram Avinu, to marry the Pelegesh, to go and have her. Was it Hagar? and to have children with Hagar so that Avram Avinu could have children. He didn't want to leave him without any children. Right? And then after the whole thing, and she finally gets pregnant, she has a child, Avram Avinu goes and takes that child, Yitzchak, and puts him onto the Akedah, he's going to sacrifice him to God. All this time, all these things that are going on, we still say, Chaya, Sarah, beautiful life. Really? Was it that beautiful? The chaos, the trauma that she went through, was it that beautiful? So he says over here, we have to understand, and this is one of the biggest things that we learn from Sarah. Her emunah, her trust in Hashem, her faith in Hashem, was so strong that every single time some adversity came her way, every single time she had a challenge, she had a struggle, she didn't see it as such. That's why she was so special. She was special because when she saw something in this world which was seemingly negative, she couldn't have kids, she finally has kids, she goes through other traumas, and then her husband goes and takes the child and wants to sacrifice it to God. But she goes through this whole entire life with easiness, with the way of, I am true to Hashem. The overall theme over here, and this is something so important that we learn, is that when we start putting more trust in Hashem, when we start having more faith in Hashem, we wind up with a life like Sarah Omenu. Why? Because she did have a good life, even though she had struggles. And that is the reason that Hashem says over here in the Torah, 100, then 20, then 7, because he wants to point out that even though, according to human nature, she had a very extremely difficult life, she was happy, she was content. When we run into a challenge, a struggle, even though we don't know what's going on, the first thing we do, we just run into chaos mode. Oh my God, what's going on? If we're running late to something, we blame someone for it, right? Because, oh, I'm running late. Oh, why are you running late? Oh, because that person didn't show up. Okay, whatever. But the first thing we do, we go into this chaos mode. Sarah Menu didn't do that. Sarah Menu didn't fall for chaos mode. Sarah Menu, every single moment, whenever she had a challenge, and don't forget, she was trying to get pregnant until she was 100 also. Right, so I'm sure she was upset by that, or maybe she wasn't. And that's the point he's making over here. That even though she struggled to have children, even after she had children, she still had more struggles. She was always content, understanding that whatever comes her way, that is something that Hashem did, and He did it for her favor. That's the lesson that we learn. You could go through a very, very difficult life, and you can have different challenges, small ones, you can have large ones. How you deal with it is how you get kind of put up against Sarah Amenu. Because Sarah Amenu dealt with it in a way of true emunah and bitachon. She really believed in God that whatever He did, that was for her benefit. And it didn't bother her. That's why when she was 100, she was free of sin, of anything, because she truly went through life feeling good about herself. And that's what we need to do more of. When we go through life and really fully trust in Hashem for every single thing that happens, and we don't get upset by these things, we're doing only a benefit to ourselves. And overall, what we wind up doing is a benefit towards Hashem, because that's what Hashem wants from us. And then when we're 100 years old, hopefully we're as pure of a neshama as Sarah Amenu did. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here today. Have a wonderful, a beautiful Shabbos. And as always, I love you all.